Okay, here I am. I just finished a workout, and as promised, I'm going to have some real talk about some reflections, some self-talk, and some truths that I realized while I was doing a 21-day clean eating. First of all, I was doing so many things out of habit. The reason that I started working out was just to relieve stress, was just purely just to relieve stress, because teaching is a highly stressful job. I don't care what anybody says, it's a tough job to do. So that's why I started lifting. And the reason that I kept lifting and working out was still out of habit. But now that I'm not in the place as far as my weight, as far as my health, the road that I was going down, I'm in a better place. But I was still doing a lot of things out of habit. I was still lifting the same way. I was still exercising the same days. I was still just pushing the same amount of weight. And it was time for a change. Not just a change in how I was working out, but a change in a lot of my eating habits as far as food. I treated food as a reward. If I was having a bad day, I rewarded myself. If I was having a great day, I rewarded myself. If I was having a so-so day, or if I met a certain personal goal that I had, I treated myself with food. I had to stop that habit during the 21-day clean eating because that was no longer an option. Another thing that I had to ask myself is, why do you work out so hard? Why do you push yourself as far as your profession goes? Why do you push yourself so hard? And a lot of it was because of outside influences. I pushed myself because somebody said a long time ago you had to be the best. And I developed that as my truth, and it's not my truth. But now that it's intrinsic, that's something that's in me, and I still go hard, but not because of what somebody else told me, but because of what I'm telling myself. Another thing is my expectations. I didn't even realize that I expected people around me to be just as tough or to push themselves just as hard. And my reality is not their reality. My perception of what's right is not their perception of what's right. My perception of what's great is not their perception of what's great. So now I know to just kind of ease up a little bit, because everybody's not like me, and they're not supposed to be like me, just like I'm not supposed to be like everybody else. Another thing that I realized is how grateful I am to my parents and to my family and to my friends. Grateful because of them accepting me for me and all of my flaws and all of the things that I consider to be not so great. They accept me anyway. And to listen to my ideas when I say, oh, I'm gonna try this, and oh, I want to be that, and oh, I want to do this, they stick with me no matter what. They'll say, yeah, you can do it. And sometimes they'll just like, that's a horrible idea. Why do you want to do that? But yet and still they listen and they accept me. But the biggest thing is me wanting to pass on a legacy. Why? Because I realized that when my parents were rearing us, they were in a survival mode. Our bills got paid, we never got evicted, our lights got on, but it's time to give my children something. My work ethic. It's time to give my children something that they can continue and they can give to their children, and it can be passed down from generations to generations, which is what we're supposed to do. So those are my reflections, my realizations, my truths, and my self-talks.